All right, welcome everybody. Yes, happy Friday, Robert. It's good to see everyone for another great winter webinar. Thank you for joining us. My name's Jeff Glover from Detroit, Michigan. We've got the great Alanna Pfeffer with us as well. We'll get to her in just a moment on today's special topic, especially around social media and what you need to know and do and change in as it relates to your social media strategy. So we'll cover that in just a second. Real quick, we just dropped the link to the workbook. Make sure you have that. Go ahead and click on that, download it. And when you're commenting today, because of course I love seeing all the chats coming through. When you're commenting today, make sure you change your chat to everyone. Sometimes it defaults to hosts and panelists. Change it to everyone so everyone can see where you're joining us from, not just us hosts and panelists. So let's start there. If you're a first timer, all right, if you're a first timer, let us know that you're a first timer, meaning first time on a Glover U webinar and where you're from. So just put in the chat, first timer and where you're from. And if you're not a first timer, still, we want to see where you're from. So just don't put first timer. Just put city and state or your province in there. All right, from New York City, first timer in Long Island. We got some first timers from North Carolina. First timer, New Jersey. What's going on the East Coast? Alanna, you got some fans on the East Coast, it looks like. All right, first timer, Portland, Maine. More East Coast. First time, Canada in the house. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, everybody. Nova Scotia, thanks for being with us. California, thanks for waking up with us this morning. All right, so awesome to see everyone. And this is going to be a fun topic. So for our first timers, all right. I got a couple minutes of messages for you. For everyone that's been to a Glover U event before, or anyone that's been to a webinar before, just sit tight for a couple minutes while I get through some quick announcements. So first things first, if you're not familiar, again, Jeff Glover from Detroit, Michigan, been listing and selling real estate for 22 years. 20 of those I've spent in leadership training, coaching, and developing agents. And I'm still in the trenches with you. A lot of people are surprised to hear that in the last decade, I have personally sold. This is not my team. This is not our team. This is me personally. I've personally averaged over 100 transactions a year the last 10 years. That does not take into consideration the between 950 and 1,000 units that our team does. We're the number one home selling team in the state of Michigan for 10 out of the last 11 years. And why am I telling you this? And that's of all brands, all brokerages. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to know that you're not just getting advice from someone who studied what somebody else did. You're not just getting advice from somebody who read out of, a textbook or out of a Facebook group. You're getting advice from people who are in the trenches with you. And today is no exception to that because not only am I in the trenches with you as a salesperson and as a leader of brokerages and a team, but we also have our marketing director who's in the trenches of our social media every single day alongside me. So I'm really, really excited for today's topic. Before we get into it, I want to make sure there's a handful of resources that you should have your hands on. I want you to take advantage of them. First things first, if you're not currently receiving the daily message, you should. Every day, every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, I'm writing a message specifically designed to help you list and sell more real estate. Today's message, I kind of tied it in with today's webinar. I talked about what you need to be focusing on as far as your social media posts. I talked about writing great copy. I also talked about what photos to use, what photos to not use. Stop using Canva. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that today because I know that freaks everybody out. And I talked a little bit about how do you improve your videos. Anyways, every day. Sometimes it's I went on an appointment last night. Here's an objection I got from a seller. Here's how I responded, and I got the listing. So every day I'm writing a message to help you list and sell more real estate. And for my first timers, if you don't have your hands on it, here's how you get your hands on it for free. It's super simple. Now, if you're in Canada, just sit tight for a second because there's one special instruction. Everyone else, text the word morning to 55444. That's how you get signed up for the daily message. Text the word morning, just one word, to 55444. They'll throw that in the chat for you so you have it. If you text the word morning to 55444, within like 60 seconds, it's going to ask you your first name, your last name, your email. That's all you need. And then you're signed up. You get the daily message. The daily message comes out via email. So you're not signing up for the daily message through text, but you have to use the text system to get signed up. It's just more efficient that way. So text the word morning to 55444 to get your hands on the daily message. Now, the second resource, that's the first resource. The second resource that I'm going to give away is the Glover U app. Now, some of you might already be receiving the daily message, but maybe you're not getting the Glover U app. All right. So it's super simple. If you just signed up for the daily message, it's going to spit out the link to the app. And if you already get the daily message, just search Glover U in your app store and you will get your hands on the daily message. Or I'm sorry, on the Glover U app. Why do you want your hands on the Glover U app? Because we are constantly updating the free resources on there. In fact, there were some things that we talked about 2 weeks ago in Phoenix during our big event, and we've already developed a tool. It's called the cumulative board. We developed a tool that's going in the app. If it's not in there now, it'll be there like within the next few days. I know it's something that they're working on behind the scenes. Anyways, you want your hands on the app because there's a ton of free resources in there. That's the second one I want to share with you. Now, if you're in Canada, to sign up for the daily message, all you have to do is download the app. It's going to take your first name, your last name, your email address, and that'll get you signed up for the daily message. That'll also get your hands on the app. So you're just searching Glover space the letter U in the App Store. All right, just search Glover the letter U in the App Store. That's the second resource. So we got the daily message, we got the app, and the third resource I want to share with you is our 2025 business plan. All right. This is a valuable plan because it comes with two things. Number one, it comes with a 90-minute instructional video for you to help you with filling out literally every single section of the plan, which, by the way, it's the exact same plan that I use in my personal business. It's the exact same plan that our agents use. By the way, just to give you an idea, when you hear a number like, oh, wow, your team does 950 to 1,000 units, you must have 100 agents. Nope. We got 38 full-time salespeople. So do the math on that. That's a pretty high per person productivity. And this business plan is the exact same one that those agents work out of as well. So to get your hands on the plan, you just go to gloveru.com/plan. That's GLOVER, the letter U.com/plan. That's going to get you a PDF copy of the plan. You're going to see the link to the plan, and because it's going to take you to a YouTube video. You're going to see the link in the comments or the description of the YouTube video, and you're going to get a 90-minute instructional video that I taught to go along with that. So I want you to have your hands on the plan, and there's the link. It's in the chat for you. All right, so if you're just joining us, I just covered the three most popular resources. If you joined us a few minutes late, they're going to probably throw the workbook in the chat one or two more times before we're done. Download that. That has all the resources listed. The three I just covered plus a bunch that I didn't. All right, so there you go. There's the workbook link again. Okay, so today's topic, we're diving into an important one, specifically around social media. And the reason why I've got Alanna here with me is because although I'm very active on social media, you're welcome to follow me. It's at Realtor Jeff Glover. Obviously, I know a lot of you follow at Glover U Coaching. But although I'm pretty active on social, people are like, wow, that's you posting that stuff? Yes, that's me. I manage, for the most part, my own social media. However, where do I get my ideas? Where do I get my strategies? Where do I get all the stuff that we do? I get it from this gal right here, Alanna Pfeffer, who many of you have met if you've came to our events. We've had her on our stage sharing with agents how to win with social media. She knows how to win with social media because her background prior to joining our company, she's been with us for 3 years now, right? It's just over 3 now, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, good. All right. I was rounding up when it was like 2. When it was 2 years, I said 3. When it was 2.5, I said 3. Now it's finally over 3. Thank you. So we can go with that. Now I'm going to start saying 4. Anyways, well, prior to that, she was a bigwig at some businesses that she managed marketing at other businesses, specifically e-commerce, and understands e-commerce and social media at a high level. And what we do in real estate is really e-commerce on social media. And so I'm going to hand it over to the master of the social media game. She knows how to break the algorithm. She knows how to not only get you engagement, but get you leads. Trust me when I tell you, it works for me personally. It works for our team. And I think you guys are in for a real treat today. Take it away,
thanks,
Alanna.
Jeff. Thank you. So the topic today is super important. Jeff mentioned, I'm watching his social media, I'm watching what's working. So recently, within the past couple of years, Jeff outlined his marketing message formula, which he uses all the time in mass advertising. So TV, radio, still works. It's awesome. But we started applying it to social media, and we started noticing the reach was not where we wanted it to be. So kind of tried to deconstruct that and see what was the issue, where were we getting hung up. So we created a new formula specifically for short form video. And I'm going to share my screen here. And I'll let you know what we're going to get into today.
And the reason why this topic is important is because a lot of people today are using social media, and a lot of agents that I meet nationwide say, well, I'm pretty good at social media. I post all the time. Well, if you just post all the time and there's no rhyme or reason or strategy behind it, that is not going to equate to leads. So, what we're going to teach you is a technique that, because there's a lot of people that get good engagement, right? There's a lot of people that get good engagement. Unfortunately, in this industry, there's people that literally pay for likes and comments. It's disgusting to me because it's a waste of money. Because, like, honestly, those people are never going to buy or sell a house with you. Hopefully none of you are on this webinar, but trust me when I tell you, your competitors do that because I see my competitors here in Detroit that do that as well. What a waste of money. Anyways, who cares how many people engage with your post if it doesn't turn into any leads for buyers and sellers? So when we
Right.
teach social media, we don't just teach about likes and comments and engagement. We teach how do you get leads. And today's topic is specifically going to answer that question, or at least it's going to help you with the strategy behind that.
Right. So first, we're going to talk about the short form formula, which I just mentioned. And then the second thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you one way that is like a surefire way to get leads from social media. So why we're going to talk about this, it's going to increase your reach, the short form video formula, increase your brand awareness, increase your leads, and ultimately grow your business. So starting to use social media as a business growth tool is the point. So I'm just going to start off with a couple of quotes from the CEO of Instagram. So people post way more photos still today, but people are way more interested in consuming videos. So there's more demand for video than there is video to share. And I mention this because this is where the opportunity is. We're not posting enough videos. If you're not posting videos now, this is your wake-up call to
Grant, I
start
want that.
creating videos. Start creating more videos because that's where the opportunity is. So 3 key metrics for increasing your post reach. Number 1 is watch time. So how long are people making it through your video? Are they jumping off within the first 3 seconds like most people, or are they hanging on through more than 50%? The second one is sends or shares per reach. So this little icon here, how many people are hitting that icon and either sending it to a friend or sharing it to their story? That is another really important metric. And then the third one is, of course, engagement rate. And these are the important metrics to Instagram and Facebook because these are the metrics that let the algorithm know what people value. So if the algorithm picks up on, oh, this post has high watch time, a lot of people are sending it, a lot of people are engaging it, the algorithm, because it's not a person, it uses these metrics. The algorithm now thinks this is a valuable post. More people will like this post. So it pushes the post out to more people. Make sense?
Yep.
So more watch time equals more views. So here's a recent example. This is a video that we wrote for Devante on our team about a neighborhood. So anybody can take this formula, and I'm going to break it down after this, but this is just an example of a video that got much higher reach than most of our other videos or our agents' other videos. So here we go.
Other Motown singers once lived in this iconic neighborhood in Detroit. Russell Woods is one of Detroit's coolest neighborhoods right now, and it's not just because Diana Ross once called it home.
I didn't have my sound on. I'm going to start it over because you
Yeah,
missed the
that's
hook.
important that we get
Yeah.
the first hook. Yeah.
Diana Ross and many other Motown singers once lived in this iconic neighborhood in Detroit. Russell Woods is one of Detroit's coolest neighborhoods right now, and it's not just because Diana Ross once called it home. With its beautiful architecture, strong sense of community, and proximity to downtown, many people are flocking right now to Russell Woods to call it home. Is it a better opportunity for investors or for families? Both. I've been showing more homes than ever to investors and families looking in Russell Woods. Investors are loving the rehab opportunities, and a lot of the families are just strictly drawn to the green spaces, the parks, and that strong community feel. Send this to a friend who loves Detroit history.
All right. So now we're going to break down the formula here. The new short form video formula.
And by the way, for those that are not familiar, Devante Moore, who was in that video, he is like Alanna's guinea pig with a lot of the stuff that we try, and he is happy with that because I don't know, he does somewhere between 50 and 70 units a year. He does 2 transactions a month minimum from social media. Alanna, has he shared any recent success stories with you? I mean, I know he's getting at least 2 deals a month following our model.
Yeah, I have a recent success story that I'm going to share later on in this video, and it's
Oh, sweet.
specifically
Okay, cool.
around getting
Yeah.
more leads.
Yep.
So, so we're going to
In
break
other
down
words,
the
the point
formula
is
that,
we don't just share if you're not familiar with Glover U, we don't just share things that sound cool or look great. We're sharing with you only things that we've tested and have had success with. And we would never waste your time with anything that we know is not proven.
Right. And I like to bring things that are repeatable. So it's not like here's a video that went viral and we can't quite figure out why, or you have to come up with your own crazy idea. This is a really simple thing to follow that's going to get you more views than your average video.
Yep.
So 3 tips
Break it
for
down.
a
What
good
did
hook.
he do there?
What's that?
So what did he do there? Break it down for us.
Yep. The first step is the hook. So 3 tips for the hook. The hook is to grab the viewer's attention. It is to make the viewer believe the rest of the content will be valuable or interesting. And you want to do it in 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds, but really 3 seconds is what you want to shoot for. So if you have a hard time with hooks, just hop on ChatGPT. It's wonderful. I didn't use ChatGPT for writing this initially, but for the purposes of this slideshow, I did give it a prompt to see what it would come up with. And so I've highlighted some here that I thought were what made good hooks. So this historic neighborhood is making a big comeback. What I like about this is that it teases the neighborhood, but it doesn't tell you what neighborhood it is. So you want to hang on to find out what neighborhood they're talking about. And then the ones in red here, I thought were not good. And let me just explain why real quick. So buying in Russell Woods, here's what you need to know first. I think this is not a good hook. And that is because when somebody lands on your video and they hear buying in Russell Woods, well, they're probably not buying in Russell Woods. So why would they hang on?
It's too specific.
Yes. You see the difference? So the one that we ended up going with was Diana Ross and other Motown singers once called This Iconic Detroit Neighborhood Home. So it did a couple things. It mentioned some people, some famous people who Detroit happens to love. And it keeps you hanging on to find out what the neighborhood is. So this is just an example of kind of what I think makes a good hook and a not so good hook.
And just for people that are watching, you might say, well, that's not really interesting to me. Watch. Devontae's demographic of buyers and sellers are Metro Detroit. So if like I've seen, some other ones that he's did where he basically, here's one Detroit neighborhood I bet you've never heard of, right? Where if you're from Detroit and that's the people he wants to appeal to, he doesn't care if you're from Cleveland or Minneapolis. He doesn't necessarily need to get you hooked in. He wants people from Detroit to be hooked into the video. So using specific language to your market, because it's going to cause someone to say, well, I know all the neighborhoods. Tell me which one. Diana Ross, where does she live? Things that are unique to your area are going to help your engagement and obviously bring the hook as part of it.
Right. Unique, but not too focused on a specific situation where thinking of selling in Russell Woods, I'm not, because I don't have a house in Russell Woods. So that's the difference there.
Yeah. And by the way, we got some questions in the chat. Every time we do a webinar, we always share the replay. So yes, we always share the replay of our webinar. So yes, there will be a replay. You can go back and watch anything you miss. Right.
So there are 5 different types of hooks. So in Devontae's video, he did a verbal hook. So that's what you're actually saying out of your mouth. There's a visual hook, which we did not do in Devontae's video, but I'll get into some examples there. So just hang on. There's a text hook, and that is where you see like text on the screen. Then there's an audio hook. What you're hearing. Is it music? Is it a loud noise or something interesting in your ears? And then the 5th is the caption hook. That's the part that's in the description. So what you want to do if you can is mix 2 or even 3 of these different types of hooks. Like you should always have a verbal hook, maybe mix it with a visual hook, and of course have a good hook in your caption. That's a little bit different. That keeps people hanging on or reading the rest of the caption. So those are the 5 types of hooks to think about when you're coming up with your hook. So here's an example of a video we did with Kathy, and it's not just the initial visual hook. It is kind of continuous visual hooks. And I know I don't want to run out of time, so I won't play the whole thing, but just so you can see.
We recruited over $1 million in GCI this year. Here's how. Number 1, we started running digital ads based on our value proposition using the copywriting formula. Number 2, we helped our agents understand that when the team grows, their business grows too. Number 3, we started inviting top producers to our meetings. What the heck is that good for?
So you can see what the visual hook keeps you hanging on, and then the continuous visual hooks kind of keep you hanging on throughout the video. So the point is that is where we're optimizing for average watch time. We're kind of pulling them through the whole way. So here's another, just another quick example.
Real estate leaders and brokers are constantly asking me, what is the quickest way to grow your team or brokerage? The answer is there's only two things. Number one, by increasing your per person production. But how? Implementing consistent training and coaching into your environment and implementing benefits that give your agents something to strive for, like our agent status tiers. Number two.
So you can see she does a visual hook mixed with a verbal hook, and then we kind of do visual hooks throughout. But it also follows the formula all the way, which I'm going to continue here.
Yeah, and in case anyone was wondering, the visual hook, right? Like the things that are catching your attention. You know, she's laying down, she's popping out from a thing, she's walking with an umbrella. Visual things that grab attention.
Yeah. That the falling off the stretcher, it keeps you hanging on like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? So those kind of things that
and by the
keep
way,
you wanting to
anyone,
see.
I'll just say one thing. If anyone's here is thinking like this is way too advanced for me, or I'm too old to learn this, that's Kathy Schweitzer. She's the CEO of Glover U. I won't give away her age because I don't even know exactly how old she is, and she'd probably kill me for saying this. But you can teach an old dog new tricks because she has went from like not doing anything with social media to doing stuff like this in like 1 year. So anyone who's thinking, I don't know if I'll be able to pick up on this, trust me, if Kathy can pick up on it, so can you.
Yeah, I wrote a couple scripts for her for a different situation after this. And when she came to shoot it, she was a little bit upset that she wasn't like rolling on the ground. She was like, I thought I was going to be rolling on the ground, falling off stuff. No,
That's right.
not every time.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, here's an example of an audio hook.
Welcome to Glover Agency, where we kick.
So that one had a visual hook and an audio hook. That terrible like shrieking sound is the audio hook that keeps you hanging on.
Yep.
So here is an example of text hook, and it is also paired with an audio hook here. So this is right here. It's just a lake in Michigan. What's the big deal? That's the text hook. So the text on the screen is what makes it a text hook. And the audio hook was that music.
Yep. And then quite honestly, I don't know if this was intentional, but to me, it was a bit of a visual hook because I wanted to see where it was zooming into. And at the rate it was zooming in, I was curious to see where it would land.
Right. And the reason I picked this video is because this account, this video had like hundreds of thousands more views than the rest of their videos. So these are the kind of things that you're looking for. You know, you might not get hundreds of thousands of views right away, but every time you level up, you're looking at your insights and you're thinking, what did I do? What was it about that video? And you're doing that more and more, which we'll talk about.
By the way, in case anyone's wondering, Glen Lake is right near Traverse City, Michigan, where our retreat is at. So that's, what the water really looks like up there.
Yeah. So again, you only have 3 seconds at the beginning. That's the average watch time of videos on Instagram and Facebook, 3 seconds. So keep your hook short.
Got it.
So the second step. So the first step is the hook. The second step is start giving your information, your value, or you're presenting a problem. So after the hook, you're getting into the meat, which is either value or it's a problem. So get into your content quickly. Don't wait. Don't, no fluff. Start with a surprising or interesting fact, a controversial hot take, or a common problem. So those are the tips for getting into your value or the problem. And then step number 3 is another hook. This is not, it looks like a mistake, but it's not. So first step is hook. Second step is presenting the problem or giving valuable information, either one.
Content.
And then
basically it's like hook,
the content,
your content, and then you got to bring back, you got to keep them engaged with another hook.
Keep them engaged with another hook. So 2 tips there. Add a line that piques attention again. So try this instead. So if your hook is something about a problem and then you're like, these are the problems, try this instead. Or 2 things you can do. Or is this better?
So if you're doing a problem solution type video, which I like those. I mean, people, problem solution videos are really, really effective.
Right. So like in Devontae's video, he said, is it better for families or is it better for investors? Which is something that I'm thinking when I'm looking to buy investment properties in Detroit. There's 2 different things you're kind of looking for there.
Yeah.
So you want to make your viewer need to know what's coming next. This is where you're keeping them.
Why are we not? I noticed, so before we used to teach agents, first of all, we would teach agents, and this is for everyone, don't introduce yourself at the beginning of your video. All right. When you do that, you lose engagement. We've studied it, we've seen it. But we're not introducing ourselves anywhere in the video. Why is that?
It makes it sound like an ad, and
Mm.
they already know who you are, or if they want to know who you are, they'll click on you. As soon as you start saying, I'm Alanna Pfeffer
Yeah.
from Glover Agency or Glover U, they're going to swipe. They don't, these are entertainment apps. Facebook and Instagram are specifically for entertainment. The second you start not entertaining them or not giving them what they want, they're just going to swipe because it's that easy.
Yeah.
It's that easy. So
Yeah.
don't introduce
So
yourself.
there's a tip, there's a nugget right there. That's an audit. Are my videos, is my content entertaining?
Right.
There's a reason why TikTok blew up the way it did. Now I know
Mhm.
there's some controversy around whether it's going to stick around or not, but there's a reason why it blew up because it became the most entertaining app of the three.
Right.
Facebook got a little too businessy, a little too photo-ish. Instagram was photo heavy, but then it was starting to get, a little bit maybe too businessy. People were using it to business, where TikTok was just pure entertainment. So I think
Mhm.
there's a nugget in there, and that is honestly, is my content, and we use the term infotaining. Is my content infotaining? Is it informational that's also entertaining? You got to figure out. So, like, if in a lot of these videos and these examples, even the ones with Devontae and Kathy, with Kate, there's something in the beginning that starts off as like entertaining, and then they get to some content, but it's fun content. It's content that's entertaining.
Right. So even at the beginning, you start with the hook. What I'm not saying is don't introduce yourself. Never introduce yourself at the beginning. Never, hey guys, and then get into your hook. No, no, no. Just get right
Yep.
into your hook.
Yep.
And Reels, like you mentioned, Reels which is what we're talking about here, is Facebook and Instagram's response to TikTok. So it functions similarly. I mean, not quite the same, but it's all
Yeah.
about entertainment.
Yep.
So then the fourth step is the value or the information. And 3 tip there: answer or back up your second hook. So like if it's try this instead, then you're going to get into what you're trying instead. Numbered list works well. Always give the information you said you would give. So if you're saying 2 ways to XYZ, and then you're talking more and giving more of the problem, and then you're like, drop something in the comments and I'll send you the 2 ways. Don't tease them that way. I mean, it's good to tease in some ways where you're setting up even more information for your call to action. But if you're saying here are 2 ways to XYZ, and then you don't give them that, they're not going to come back. So give them the 2 ways. And then if you want to learn more, if you want to see a case study or something like that, if that's what your call to action is, you can do that. But if you say you're going to give them something, don't go back on it. And then number 5, this is the last step here, is the
Final
punch.
step. Yep. So we have
So
hook, content, punch.
yeah. So insert yourself as the solution when it makes sense. Where Devontae said, I'm working with a ton of families who XYZ and a ton of investors who XYZ. So he's positioning himself as the expert. He works with both. So that's what I mean by that. And then include a call to action, preferably engagement focused. So again, I'm going to point out here, stop saying call me, stop saying email me. It's engagement focused. It's drop a comment or share to your story or send to a friend.
Okay.
So we're not saying
and why are we not saying call me or DM me?
well, if you remember the 3 metrics, watch time, engagement rate, and sends per reach. So engagement rate and sends per reach, that can be your call to action. So if you're going for reach, that's why we're focusing on
we
that.
got to keep them on the platform. We got to keep them
Yeah.
on the post.
If they want to call
Otherwise,
you,
yeah, it won't help with the engagement.
right. And if they want to call you, they'll find you.
Yeah.
So, but if you're just saying call me, you're not getting the engagement. And I'm pretty sure people aren't just calling you from saying,
Sure.
your phone number.
Yeah. So an example would be like, hey, if you like to see more Detroit, in our case, if you'd like to see more Detroit history, drop a D, for the D in your comments or whatever, right? Like
yeah, or if
something to, yep.
yeah, or like if you want to see the last 5 sold in this neighborhood, and so we can compare and see if it makes sense for you, drop a whatever in the comments.
Yeah, drop your zip code if you wanna know if home prices are going up or down in your area.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have an example here. This is a video that I did with Kate, and what I want to show here is this is her first try. So this is not the final video, but then I want to show the difference so you can see what we cut out, why we tried it again, and why certain things are important. So let me turn my sound on again.
All right, so in a lot of my one-on-ones in the last couple of weeks, I'm noticing that leaders are making this very common mistake. And when they get into leadership, there's an assumption that being a good leader means they have to be available for all of their people at the drop of a hat. Now, on the surface, that's a really great thing as a leader, right? Like, you want to be available for your people. You want them to feel like they can come to you. Yeah, it actually poses two challenges if we're available all the time for our people. Number one, it teaches them that if we don't respond in a given amount of time, that our leadership skills or abilities or impact is less
So
than
she's just
maybe
talking,
what they.
basically.
Yeah,
She's
I'm going to
just
stop
talking
it
like
here.
anyone,
Right.
you know, if you think about, you know, you're talking about a transaction, you're talking about real estate values, you're talking about a market update or whatever, like basically she's just kind of blabbing. I mean, obviously it's
Yeah.
good. What she's saying is good. And what you might have to say about the market values or what's happening with mortgages or whatever is good, but that is not effective
Right.
in terms of getting engagement and getting leads.
Yes. But it is good. I don't want you to be too scared to do this, because what did come out of this was what she wanted to say. So then we were able to pare it down and say, these are the important points from this video. Let's hit them. So I'll show you the numbers here. So this is the first try. The length of the hook here was 10 seconds. The total length of the video was 1:27, and I can get to the end, but she was like still going.
Yeah.
So if the viewer watches 25 seconds, that's only 29% watch time. And remember, watch time is really important for the algorithm to push out to more people. So, so here's the second try. Wait, I'm so sorry.
The best leaders are making this mistake. They're assuming that they need to be available for the people that they lead at the drop of a hat. And while this is very well intended, it actually causes two problems that we want to avoid in leadership. Number one, it's robbing the person with the question of the opportunity to actually think for themselves. And number two, it's chewing up all of your high income producing activities and taking you away from what's most important. So instead, try this. Have a set time every single week where you're doing your one-on-ones with your direct reports so that they can ask you questions, you can guide them, you can coach them. That way you can control your time outside of that throughout the rest of the week and focus on the highest dollar amount activities for your job. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
So much more concise, to the point. She did a great hook. She got into the problem, and then she got into that second hook where it was try this instead. So the final video, the timing was the length of the hook. We got it down to 3 seconds. The total length of the video was 48 seconds, down from 1:27 and still going. So that means if a viewer makes it through the same amount of time, which is 25 seconds, that's over half watch time, over 52%. So do you see the difference in why cutting out the fluff and shortening your hook and doing all that makes sense?
And is that magic? Is the magic number to get to 50% watch time? What is that magic number? I know
I
you showed
don't have a magic
in the beginning.
number. I don't have a magic number, but what you should be doing is checking your insights every week to see your top videos and how much time people are getting through. But the goal is to get them through to the end. I mean, getting them to the end is really the magic number, but 25 seconds, I don't think they were going to make it on that first video. So this is kind of being generous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if they're watching 52% of it, then there's a good chance they're going to stick around. A lot of them are going to stick around to the end.
Right. So again, we're optimizing for average watch time, sends per reach, and engagement. So here are 5 ways to optimize for your average watch time. Shorten your hook.
If you're out there and you're wondering, like, hey, can you go back so I can write all that down? She's going to break them down right now.
Yes.
Because I might be thinking that too.
So 5 ways to optimize for average watch time. Number 1, shorten your hook. So if you're using ChatGPT, get on there, find your best hooks, and then record them and see which ones make sense, and ask your friends what they think would keep them hanging on. So try different things. Number 2, cut out the fluff. Cut out long pauses. Number 3. And so when I say that, I mean, if you have CapCut or captions or something similar, some will cut out those pauses for you, and some you can cut them out yourself even in the app. try shooting more than once like I did with Kate, to recognize what the fluff is and then to be more concise. And then number 5, follow the short form formula that we just went over. So get that second hook in there. Make sure you're getting that second hook to keep people hanging on for longer. So those are 5 ways to optimize for average watch time. So the other thing is 2 ways to optimize for sends per reach. Create shareable content. Now this is harder than it sounds, of course. So what you're going to want to do is experiment with different topics and see what people are sharing. And of course, the second thing is make your call to action, send this video to XYZ or share this video to your story. 3 ways to optimize for engagement. Give a controversial or against the grain opinion. And the reason for that is people love to comment on videos that are a little bit controversial or against common wisdom. And I don't mean like politics and things like that. I just mean against the grain. And then number 2 is respond to all comments. Try to keep the conversation going. So instead of just commenting like an emoji on everyone who comments, ask a question or do something that tries to like pull more out of them. Because the more people comment, that boosts your engagement rate and that tells the algorithm this is a valuable video. Number 3 is ask questions and or make your call to action engagement focused. So drop a comment, send to a friend like this. So here's another example. Do we have time for this? It's an example from someone else on our team. Okay.
Yeah.
So this video we shot with someone on our team using this short form formula, and it was fun.
What's it like living and working in the birthplace of the BB gun? It's an odd question that I've never been asked before, but a fun fact nonetheless. It turns out the BB gun was invented and manufactured right here in downtown Plymouth back in 1886 at the Markham Air Rifle Factory, which still stands today. The factory is the largest commercial brick building in all of Plymouth, and it's home to Sidecar Slider Bar and Shift Kitchen and Cocktails. But where did the Markham Rifle Company owner's mistress live? I'm glad you asked. William Markham built this incredible Queen Anne-style home for his young mistress, Blanche Shortman, in 1901. This home is an icon of downtown Plymouth and is currently being used for commercial purposes. Besides BB gun history, what's the best part about living here in Plymouth? I help a lot of families move here to Plymouth, and for them, it boils down to the small town charm, urban convenience, and great public schools. I have to agree with all of them, but if you know me, you know I'm here for the restaurants. Send this video to someone that likes weird history and restaurants.
So hopefully you could recognize the formula there, the hook, the information, the hook. You get it. I do have one more here though.
She did a good job of keeping us in tune the whole way through.
Yeah.
But
I do have one more.
And what I like about that is she's showing her now, she lists and sells in Plymouth, Michigan. So if she knows that about Plymouth, Michigan, the perception is then she knows a lot about Plymouth, Michigan. She knows about the restaurant, she knows about the schools, she knows the great streets to be on. That's the whole thing. When people are like, but how do I tie this into my real estate business? You don't understand. When they have the perception that you know everything about your town or the towns that you list and sell real estate in, that gives them the idea that you're knowledgeable on the market, that you're knowledgeable on that area or that community.
Right. And if I live in Plymouth and I didn't know this and I am good buddies with my neighbor, I would send this to my neighbor. Did you know this? So that's kind of trying to go for shareable content.
Yep.
Here's one more.
The fastest growing city in Michigan might surprise you. I'll give you a couple hints. This township was formed way back in 1833, and Henry Ford even had his own private secret garden here. It's Dearborn. According to Redfin, Dearborn is Michigan's #1 fastest growing city. So why have people been flocking to Henry Ford's hometown? 3 big reasons. Number 1, it has one of the strongest and most diverse local economies with major employers like Ford Motor Company, Oakwood Healthcare, and others. Number 2, it has a historic and walkable downtown with award-winning restaurants and bakeries. Foodies are obsessed with the Dearborn food scene. Number 3, compared to other major cities, Dearborn offers relatively affordable housing options, making it an attractive location for young families and professionals. I've personally been showing more homes to young families in Dearborn than I ever have before. Send this to a friend who loves to try new restaurants.
Just to answer Christy, it's a reel. We're talking about specifically Facebook and Instagram reels. So that's the type of video it is. Here's like a before and after. I just wanted to show you a video someone on our team did. She didn't write a script. She was just talking to camera, and I wrote it out afterwards so you could see how long it was. And then you can see how I would improve it. Pulling out the hook, pulling out just the important information, which is why it's important to shoot the video first or a couple times, get your information out, it's sometimes really daunting to sit down and try to write a script. So if it's easier for you to shoot it and see how you sound and pull out the important information and then edit it that way, I think that makes sense too.
Yep.
So here, I don't know if we have much time to get through this, but if you want to take a screenshot, this is a video that could kind of work for anybody that is specifically for buyers, which just these videos don't tend to do as well as the neighborhood videos. They're not as interesting. So I wouldn't say be the buyer, seller person all the time. Do more interesting stuff around your neighborhood. But this is something I thought would work for anyone, anywhere in North America. So grab a screenshot.
Yep.
Then, of course, there's more to it than just following the formula. So the content has to actually be helpful or actually entertaining or interesting. The content has to make sense for your personality and your brand. So like for Devontae doing the Detroit neighborhoods, you have to be comfortable in front of the camera. If it sounds like you're reading a script, people aren't going to hang on. They don't want to. They don't want to watch somebody reading a script. So somebody asked me this at the summit this past January. They asked how they were able to memorize a script like that. And I said, I should have mentioned this. We shot it one line at a time, like one sentence at a time. And then you just clip them together in CapCut, which if you have CapCut on your phone, it's still there. But you can also still download CapCut on desktop. That is still available. But I know it got hidden with TikTok. So that's small issue with that. But anyway,
because there were some questions about what was being used. So CapCut is being used, and you can do it on a desktop. You can. A lot of people probably, I'm sure you know this, but I'm sure you don't use Instagram and Facebook and so forth this way. But you can create posts and reels and everything on a desktop. It doesn't have to be, from your mobile phone. And it sounds like CapCut is still available on the desktop. So
right. And I see we need more information on how to edit a video. Of course, I'm not going to get into how to edit a video on here, but in Social Media Master, I do have a couple of how-tos, how to use CapCut, how to use
with 1 hour, we're trying to pack as much as we can.
So,
an hour. And some of this stuff people are going to have to go follow up on or join you in your next program or whatever.
Right. So yeah, this is the formula, but like the how-to step-by-step how to edit is in Social Media Mastery. So you must be comfortable in front of the camera, and you can't be too salesy or too scripted. So there's more to it than just following the formula, but that stuff comes with practice. So 5 ways to improve your ranking. And your ranking is every time you post something, the algorithm is ranking your content. Ranking it, meaning, are they going to put it up here in somebody's feed, or are they going to put it way at the bottom and they might not see it? So how you want to show up top. You want the algorithm to like your content and rank you up high. So create more videos, because again, there aren't enough videos to share. There's more demand for videos than there are videos to share. Experiment with different topics, different hooks, different ideas. Check your insights weekly, monthly, whatever works for you, but you should be looking at what's working and trying to duplicate or replicate that. Create original and engaging content. So the algorithm favors original content rather than reposted content. So trying to create your own original content. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of people get on teams that create like images for the whole team, and then everybody's posting the same image.
Yeah.
Or you're hiring.
Brokerages do it too. I mean, brokerages are just as guilty. They make the same image for every single agent. And then they wonder why they don't get any engagement. You can't rely, you should not be using anything that puts words, phrases, logos, .coms on your images. It's hurting your engagement.
Right. And don't post things that everyone else is posting. And number 5, collaborate and engage with others. So do actual collaborations on Instagram and Facebook, and actually spend time engaging with other people on the platforms. Don't just post and get out of there. You have to be engaging with people for them to engage back with you. So that was kind of part 1, the short form formula, but here is how to get leads. And this part is kind of quick, so I think we can get through it here. it's a lead magnet giveaway. So here is the first, and this is Devontae again. So here's his last giveaway. I think this was last Valentine's Day.
I'm giving away a $300 gift card to Joe Muir Seafood to one lucky winner for Valentine's Day. Comment a heart emoji on this post and I'll send you a link to enter. The deadline to enter is February 1st and the winner will be selected on February 2nd. This is Realtor Devontae with Glover Agency. Good luck.
So that was last year. And
I'm giving away.
this one is this just ended yesterday. But look at the difference in leads. This one has 675, that one had 90.
I'm giving away a $400 gift card to Eddie V's. To enter, drop a heart emoji on this post and share it to your story. The deadline to enter is Thursday, February 6th, and the winner will be chosen on Friday, February 7th. This is Realtor Devontae with Glover Agency. Good luck.
So this one generated 675 leads. The last one generated 90 leads. So what is the difference?
I would say the restaurant. I'm sure
You would say the restaurant?
Yeah.
Hold on. It might be the restaurant, but so the views here, this is this year. The views 107,000. That was of this morning. So even here I circled it in the middle there and it was at 101 last night. We're at 107,000 views, over 1,100 shares. But the important part here is 675 leads. He spent $400, of course, on the gift card. So that's 59 cents per lead. And they're not hot leads, so they should be cheap, but that is like insanely cheap to add 675 people to your email database. So last year, the views were 3,500, so not nearly as many. Shares 13, leads 90. So you can see the difference in shares here. 13 shares, 1,100 shares. Of course, he spent 300 cost per lead, $3.33, which is still good, but it's not 59 cents. So what the difference is, share this post to your story. So we've really been hammering one of the top metrics being shares, which I mentioned earlier. So instead of just comment a heart emoji and I'll send you the link to register, he said, comment a heart emoji and share this post to your story. And then I will send you the link to register for the giveaway. And that is the reason this video went, semi-viral compared to the other one. So if you're thinking about
locally viral for him and his
right.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, 107,000 views is pretty great for the money spent and the time spent.
Yeah.
And if you saw the production, anybody can do it. You just take your camera out there. You did it in one take.
No, not
easy.
even the camera. It's from the phone. It's from the phone.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. So here are the 3 steps to execute that. Number 1, create a lead capture form in Paperform or FormStack or Google, something similar. We use Paperform. So you're just going to want to get their name, email, and phone number. Don't ask for too much. And this same goes for entering to win. You don't want there to be 4 or 5 steps to enter to win. You want it to be 2, maybe 3 steps. So his was drop a heart emoji and share it to your story, 2 steps. And then he'll send you the link to register or to enter.
Which, by the way, I'm just thinking long-term, that the long-term benefit of people sharing it to their stories and then them clicking on it and watching it and engaging in it and then turning around and following him. I mean, he is just building an audience of local people that are connected to other local people that are now going to see his stuff. I mean, it's not even the immediate, like the return on this is going to be long lasting for months and even years, because he's now going to have followers that are local, real followers that are local, and they're connected to his other followers. And that's going to lead to business later for sure.
Yeah, this is working so well that we added it to our database plan. So this doing a quarterly or even monthly giveaway or collaboration on social media is now part of our database plan. So number 1, create a lead capture form in Paperform. Number 2, post the giveaway and have the entry be, you got to comment and share it to your story. And then step 3 is you can set up an automation in ManyChat, and there's other things too, but ManyChat is a program where you can link it to your Instagram and Facebook, and you can set up automation like rules that say when somebody comments this or when somebody shares this post to their story, send them this information in their direct messages. So it says like, here's the link to register. So Devontae doesn't have to be in there responding to every single person. This is an automation that will do it for you. So look that up. There are other options, but that is a big one.
So, Alanna, we're getting a lot of questions in the chat,
Sure.
specifically to hosts and panelists, because I think it's just people don't want to, fill up the chat with a bunch of stuff. They want to know about your program. So, can you tell us about, like, I know this is just one little piece of it, but you have a program. It's 16 weeks. It's super cheap for what you get, and I mean, you now have people coming up to you at the summits and retreats saying, "Oh my gosh, I took your program and I got A, B, and C from it." And you're really turning people into social media superstars as it relates to real estate agents. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's 16 weeks. It starts Monday. It's all about Facebook and Instagram. So winning on Facebook and Instagram, there it is. There's the flyer. Text social to 55444. But we're focusing on getting you more engagement, more reach, and not just that, but getting leads. So I actually will give you the lead magnets we're using that you can customize yourself. We actually create them in Canva so that we can share them with you, and you can add your logo and your fonts or whatever you want. I have 2 whole sessions on paid ads, paid meta ads in Instagram and Facebook, like how to set it up start to finish. All the tools that we use, using AI, how to come up with ideas, different formulas. And then of course we do like live critiques, and we have the group, and we all kind of help each other and interact with each other and get ideas from each other. And I think it's been really helpful.
So what I think you also do a good job of, you go into, the back end, the dashboard of them, and you go into, how to advertise correctly. It's not just like how to create videos. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the whole, if it answers the question, if I want to build a business or at least generate more listings and sales using social media as a tool, what do you have for me? That's what this is. If
Right.
you're watching this and even if you don't want it to be your number one source of business, and we have some people that it is their number one source of business, they're doing 30 plus units a year just from social media. If you want it to be a source, no matter where it ranks, this is the one program that addresses that and that will give you the formula for making it a viable source of business.
Right. And
Yeah.
again, we don't get distracted with any other platforms. It's just Facebook and Instagram. How to win, how to get more leads, how to get more reach, how to increase
Which,
your audience.
quite honestly, those are, the 2 that are the most trustworthy, and obviously they're not being scrutinized right now.
Yeah.
They're probably loving what's going on, over at TikTok. But anyways, so if you are just curious about the class, even if you're not sure you want to sign up yet, if you text the word social to 55444, I threw it in the chat. If you text the word social, it'll at least give you the details on the program, and then you have a few days to decide, because I know it does start next week. Can you tell us the day and time of the
Yeah.
course?
It starts Monday. It's Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and
Yeah.
that's an hour Zoom. I know it's probably 45 to 50 minutes
Yeah.
of instruction, and then 7 to 10 minutes of at the end, people
Questions.
interacting, asking questions, engagement. Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
And there's
And
homework after every session. Go
what's
ahead.
that?
Go ahead. I was going to ask, is
I
there
was going to
homework?
say, I have to answer one thing. Someone said, I thought Jeff said stop using Canva. Yes, stop posting images that were created on Canva or wherever. What I mentioned Canva for was an actual, like, the lead magnet, the PDF that you're going to send to somebody. You're not posting the thing that was made on Canva, but we created in Canva so you can customize it with your logos. Like it's a guide. It's a guide is what I mean.
Got it. Right. So yes, one of the things that she's going to teach you is how to, for instance, we run an ad at Glover Agency that attracts a lot of buyer leads, and that is how to get your offer accepted in today's market. And it's a downloadable document
Yes.
that was created on Canva. The document was created on Canva that gives them our buying power checklist. And so we capture leads using that, and the buyer gets something of value. What they got of value was created with Canva, not what we used to promote it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
You
Good.
got it.
So good. If they want to join you, it's Mondays. I'm sorry, you said Mondays?
Mondays
Yeah,
at 3.
3 p.m. Eastern. It's for 16 weeks. It's how much?
It is $3.99 a month.
$3.99 a month. So for 16 weeks, that's 4 months.
4
So that's
months.
basically $1,600. Is it safe to say I'm at least going to get a listing or sale that'll make up for that?
Yes, you'll get many, especially when we get into the lead magnets and stuff, for sure.
Awesome. Well, I love that it's not just how to make your videos better or how to stand out and get engagement on social media, because I think too many agents focus on engagement when they need to be focusing on, no. How do I get leads on social
Right.
media? And I know that that's the goal and that's the premise of this program. So if you want to take advantage of it, text the word social one last time to 55444 to get the details and to get signed up. We got a couple more webinars to go. Go back to gloveru.com/webinar. I had a few people in the chat messaging about 76 Hard. Yep, that starts next week too. You can find that on our website. Just go to gloveru.com and you'll search. It's there. It's on the main page to see the details on 76 Hard, because that starts next week. So we got a lot happening next week, Alanna. We got group programs starting, 76 Hard starting, and you'll have a whole new group of people in your course, I would imagine so.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys. Have a
See
great
ya.
rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.